Alright, hello everyone, and welcome. Hope everyone's a good one. Not too much going on this week in Star Citizen, or not too much happened last week, I guess I should say. I'll figure out time, maybe? I don't know. Mostly all that happened was... Oh, I see. Sorry, yeah. Mostly what happened was the biggest thing, absolutely biggest thing. Yeah. Was, server meshing test, that went on Evocati, and it sounds like it went pretty good. But I wasn't Evocati. I'm not Evocati. So, I don't know. But, yeah, sounds like it's pretty good. I don't know, I'm sure somebody's probably going to... I'm sure some people are going to think that 3.23 is secretly going to be 4.0 now. I don't think that's gonna happen. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we got 4.0 for the Q3 patch. For, like, CitizenCon. Because, look, I don't know. It feels, I don't know, the feeling for me, while I'm like super excited for 3.23 whenever when it does drop, which by the way, hopefully it should be going into PTU soon. I think it's already been with the Evocati, but I could be wrong. We're just going to hopefully, yeah, okay. We're just gonna do some salvage here, by the way, just because I don't know, not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for shooty bang bang time. Oh jeez. Can't wait. Cannot wait. My god. Really? Oh my god. Cannot wait for the new interaction menu. I don't know. I just like tried for 30 minutes just to, the game was crashing on startup and just not wanting to work. Which is always fun. Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I can't wait for so many things. I don't know if I've mentioned, actually, Master Modes. I think Master Modes is going to be what everybody talks about for a good while when 3.23 comes out. There's going to be people who absolutely hate it, absolutely love it. I gotta say that, like, in the few times I've actually done salvage, been pretty indifferent to it, or the few times I've done master modes, excuse me, been pretty indifferent to it, honestly. I think I don't know, I think partially, I mean, like, I haven't had, like, a lot of dogfighting missions that are, like, particularly of interest to me, so I haven't really gotten necessarily been too enthusiastic about doing space combat, but, so I don't necessarily have a huge experience pool that I feel like I'm gonna have to change over here, but we'll see. Anyways, so yeah, so there's not too much going on Star Citizen. So I wanted to just, like, open up the video with more just a discussion topic, that being crafting. You know, I don't know, I'm also probably gonna be, this is probably gonna be a little bit rambly, because that's just how I do things. But yeah, I could see, like, when crafting becomes a thing, it actually being a thing I do a decent amount in some of these, just as a sort of more chill thing. Hopefully? Maybe. I don't know. It all depends. So we're... hopefully not going to bash into this. Be very unfortunate if I did. But yeah, oh yeah. Okay, well, it was 10 kilometers shy, but, you know, it's fine. So let's see, alright, so what all to talk about for crafting? One thing I really like, and I always mention Star Wars Galaxies, like, I don't know, I have to look it up. I don't know if Star Wars Galaxies was amazing, because you would have, like, miners or people who were collecting, you know, resources, and there could be, like, 15 different kinds of coppers that are all slightly different from each other. Oh my god, I'm terrible. But yeah, you could have 15 different kinds of coppers or irons that are all different from each other, and I don't, like, that makes things really cool, because there's a lot of, and you know, you can make the barrel, like the barrel of a gun out of each thing, and they're gonna have, you know, maybe a different fire rate, different, hold on as I remember how to do this. Oh jeez. Hopefully in like 2, maybe 3 videos, I don't know, I'll have a new mic stand, or mic arm, so I don't have to, well, I'll probably still have to worry about accidentally hitting my, board, but anyways, yeah, I'd love to see something like that for Star Citizen, where there's, you know, multiple kinds of steel that you can use in a gun or armor or whatever. You know, just not necessarily as complicated, and I think it'd be maybe better if it wasn't necessarily like, oh, you're collecting, you know, 40, you know, oh, this guy's collecting 1095 and this guy's collecting 4440 or 4140? I can never remember. But yeah. I think that would make more sense if it was like the refinery process of like, oh, do you want this steel, or do you want this steel or that steel? Or this material or that material. And it would also give, you know, it would give a lot more purpose to, you know, refineries. All gonna depend, though, on, will definitely depend on, a lot of things, though, because one thing I am really curious about how everything's gonna work, speaking of salvaging here, like RMC and construction materials, like, I don't think I've heard a yes or no to this, but I assume that, like, this is a placeholder, that the construction materials is gonna be something else. I didn't even get, no, there's no way. There's no way. Oh, jeez. Oh, well. Oh, I did get 1 SCU. Okay, cool. Can I bring it closer to me? What is happening? Well, I got exactly 1 SCU out of this. Well, I guess not exactly 1 SCU, probably. I don't know that. Cool. And I'm just gonna do salvage here. Thing at Arc L5, let's make this quick. Yeah, like I would assume that the materials here would be like steel or titanium or some combination thereof. Wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, where is the sentinel here? I think obviously one issue with crafting is getting the materials for crafting and getting the blueprints, which of course is definitely going to be another thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I hope that I don't know. I don't know what the best way for the blueprints to work would be. I would assume, again, like something... It makes sense to me with Star Wars Galaxies, where you would... I think, well, it was like level progression. I assume that it would be like, hey, do you want to make a bearing P4 AR? You have to go either get good rep with bearing, and then they'll sell it to you. After you've reached a certain point with them overall. Or, you know, either that or you steal it and then, like, being able to, like, reverse engineer something. Then, like, you get a blueprint, like, data shard or something, and you get like 100, 1,000 uses out of it, depending on, you know, what you buy or steal. And if you reverse engineer it, you can maybe get like 10 times as much, or it might be unlimited, but you can either only make it like 95% as good, or again, there's just like unlimited uses, and you can only make a reversed engineer thing like 95% as good, like durability, accuracy, like maybe all of those, maybe one of those, I don't know. Like maximum, if you're good at like some sort of little mini game or something, I don't know. Or you could just get like, again, 100,000, 10,000 uses out of a thing. Presumably, like... I don't know. I would imagine that, like, I don't know. I really like the idea of limited uses being a thing that can sort of be a little bit of money sink. That, like, hey, if you're gonna be a crafter and you're gonna mass manufacture your custom P4 ARs, then you have to go to bearing, and you have to. It's a little bit of a thing. You can't just do it unlimited, you know. But if there's like some sort of long lost ancient weapon that's not being manufactured anymore that you find, it's like, well, you can't just buy the blueprint for that. You would like have to reverse engineer that kind of a thing, right? And it would be like, it'd be really strange, like, if you found, yeah, I don't know. Because I think, like, in Star Wars Galaxies, the Mandalorian armor was basically sort of that. Where it was, like, you had to go and do a... you had to go do a raid to get, maybe one of the... well, not all of the schematics for it necessarily, and it was limited uses. And I think you actually had to... use the... You had to manufacture the stuff, you had to craft the stuff in the raid, I believe. That doesn't need to happen. Although, you know what, that would be a cool idea, maybe, if there's, like, maybe some, like, Van Duel weapon of some kind that, like, you have to, you know, go to You have to go to a Van Duel distribution center or dungeon. I just like the idea of calling it a distribution center instead of like a dungeon or something. So it is one thing that I definitely like. It makes sense. Don't get me wrong, like calling them orgs instead of guilds, but it does. I don't know. It can spawn a little bit of confusion, but it shouldn't really be that much confusion, right? I don't know. Especially because if you need to clarify, you can just slap player in front of it and be like, oh, I'm talking about player orgs, as opposed to NPC orgs or something like that. But, you know. Let's see, what else about crafting? Oh, you know, module, like, okay, so I think they mentioned, yeah, I'd have to go back to the CitizenCon presentation to know exactly what kind of, what word they used, but I think they mentioned something about, like, modules or, like, components. I don't know exactly, again, I don't know exactly what that means. The thing that I want is definitely, like, for weapons and armor, something akin to, like, the Call of Duty, gunsmith thing, where you can just do a bunch of crazy stuff, but, I think I don't know. Not all of the weapons are built for that. Definitely not all of the weapons were built for that, and it would be a damn shame for them to just change everything just because of that. But also the thing is, like, in real life, you get a lot of weapons, and not just weapons, but you get a lot of things that just aren't built for modularity. And sometimes you get things that are built for modularity. Like, I don't know. If I looked at a lot of the weapons, I think Castak specifically, I think might have a lot of issues if they tried to do some modular thing. And it doesn't necessarily need to have, like, some visual distinction, but it would be nice, you know? It'd be nice to be able to look at something and be like, hey, this weapon has oh, this is, you know, I made this weapon because I'm the only one who, you know, puts together, you know, a P4AR with, you know, this handguard and this grip and, you know, this receiver and this rail or whatever. And also, I should also say that a lot of this is theory crafting. I assume the title is crafting theory, because I'm so good at naming things. But yeah. So another thing I really wonder is, well, I don't know, ship armor, the thing that, like, you know, everybody wants. But also, I'm wondering, because, you know, if we look at this here, right, the Vanguard, my assumption here would be that the Vanguard has, like, well, 80% of its hull is on the bottom. It's, like, 4 times as thick armor on the underside than the top, which seems interesting. Especially because the turret's on the top, and you would want the turret to be, you know, you'd want to expose the turret so that they can fire back, presumably? I don't know. I'm sure maybe there's some logic the other way, and I don't know. Um, oh, I also one thing I really hope for, and this probably, it'll probably be a thing that, like, they could have done, they should have done, and then they do it, like, 2 years later, I'm sure. They mentioned, like, a month before CitizenCon, before the 2023 CitizenCon, I should say, should specify. They mentioned, like, the theoretically being able to take any object with physics or any, like, anything, and being able to put it down on a cargo grid. It wouldn't necessarily be as efficient to, like, it would be more efficient to put a bunch of weapons into a crate, into a container, and then put that container on the cargo grid, of course, because you might only be able to get, like, well, I don't know, you'd only be able to stack, like, one thing, so if a crate could hold 4, ship turrets, or ship weapons, or whatever, then you would probably expect to only be able to get, like, 2 in, on the cargo grid if you weren't using a container, that kind of thing. What I would hope for is that there is, like, some sort of, like, portable crafting, some sort of portable crafting, a portable crafter, a portable refiner, portable whatever that you can just slap onto a cargo grid, medical bed that, like, you can just slap onto a cargo grid and turn it into a pseudo whatever you want, seats for transport. I think that'd be really cool. And it would, might be some issues with it, especially for, like, I don't know, because you could make like a bespoke, because transport specifically is definitely going to be a difficult one, I imagine, because, like, they're probably going to try and standardize on the size of the seats, because the seats have to have, like, accommodations, basically. I believe. And I don't know. But the dock, which is very old, described needing a, like, every seat has, like, an entertainment thing that you can look at. That, you can use to call for, like, drinks and stuff. So, it's definitely a thing. Oh, dude. I know that, I don't know. I love the look of the Vanguard, and I really want to love the Vanguard. I love everything about it aside from the weapons. And I don't know, like, honestly, with the, actually, genuinely, with the, Master Mode changes to gimbals, like, it might be a thing of, like, oh, I don't care if some of the guns are, not gimbaled, because, like, I still don't understand, like, their thought process was, oh my god, does this not fit through the door? It looks like it should barely fit through the door. Hang on. I'm adjusting it with the mouse wheel as small of an adjustment as I can. Oh my god. Yeah, their idea was, with master modes, was that, like, hey, my understanding was, if you're a pilot using gimbals, then you would have less power, or you would have less fire rate, sorry. You would have less fire rate. And that would be the sort of deciding factor. It would be, larger firing angle, but less less fire rate and thus less DPS. But you know, if you need that little bit of an assist, then like if you needed that assist, and you didn't have it and you were just using fixed, then you would probably still be missing. You know, so it'd be a little bit of a thing. And like if you were an experienced pilot, sorry? Okay. If you were an experienced pilot, then you wouldn't have to worry. Or I'm sorry, if you were an experienced pilot with using gimbals, then you know, you could theoretically be in like a medium fighter and being able to keep up with light fighters a little bit better anyway. That's kind of, that was the whole thought process I was having. So the idea of just like, oh, pilots can't use gimbals just seems like, I'll reserve judgment. Like I think I mentioned before, I'll reserve judgment until like I've actually played with it. Honestly, the real problem though with that is that like, I don't know. For right now, when we're still in alpha, the thing with like missions, is that why do they limit all of like what missions to like specific missions to specific you know, planets? Because like, why don't I have like, why do I only get the atmospheric bounties? Why do I only get the atmospheric bounties in, you know, ArcCorp and Microtech? Why don't I have any of the space bounties? Why don't I get the defend the or the illegal monitor missions? Why don't I get those in ArcCorp? Is it only ArcCorp? I don't know. It might be ArcCorp and Hurston that don't have the illegal monitor missions. I could be wrong though. But and you know, like stuff like that. Because like, I don't know. It would be so much nicer if like, hey, I've decided to, you know, be around this place, not because I like just because this is the place that I've had the most luck and I feel like isn't going to bug out the most. And like at this point, that's kind of all that matters. So like, yeah. But, oh well. I guess we'll get the guns here. I was talking about crafting, and of course we had to devolve to combat. What is this? An attrition 4. Oh, interesting. The one thing I definitely am going to like about the personal hangars is that I don't have to like... that I can just put this into, like, I'll be able to take this gun and just shove it in storage instead of not having any place to put it. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. Yeah. Really, I don't know, I really do wish that they did something different with the I wish they did something different with the gun layout on the Vanguard, but I think it really is kind of a thing of like, I don't know. If I tried the Vanguard, I'd probably like it a decent amount. I also really think that well, speaking of ships, wow. Um, speaking of ships, well, I was going to mention that I know Mirai is rumored to have. There's a leak that they're going to have the Mirai Hunter, or no, it's the Mirai Guardian, I think. I don't know. It's supposed to be like a heavy fighter, like long range heavy fighter competitor to the Vanguard, I think. And it's supposed to. Theoretically, it's the one that looks like just a souped up Fury. Which, if that does happen, I'll be excited about. I'd be really interested to see what they do with it, because I think the one thing that the Vanguard could really stand to have is one SCU of cargo. I think the Reliant and the Vanguard are two very, very different things, but yeah, one SCU of cargo honestly seems like it would be a really good thing. Doesn't this... I can't remember. Doesn't this have like some Oh yeah, it does have the EMP thing, that's right. But it's supposed to have like EMP torpedoes in the future or something. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Could... Oh yeah, we could get the con drive. And yeah, I think probably the only unfortunate thing besides physics with the persistent hangars is that like repairing components is probably not going to come in 323. I think they were aiming for 324, which also, who knows, that might be 4.0, but I don't know. I mean, it could be. I could see that, but also I would not recommend anybody get their hopes up. And not to mention, of course, like, eventually the crafting thing also, like, applying somehow to ship components. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like... Well, hopefully there would be an ideal material to use for stuff, and maybe, if you want to have... Yeah, if you want to make the thrusters faster, you have to have this material in order, for... I mean, whatever logic it could be, it doesn't need to be, super crazy. But if you want to, make some thrusters for ships, and I don't know. Also, by the way, like the level of modularity ships will have in the future, like I'm kind of assuming that we'll get things like being able to change the wings. Let's see, where's the closest place here? Crew L4 is pretty close, and I think Crew L4 is not where I want to go if I want to sell stuff. I think they might sell... Well, we'll see. Cutlass Black? Sure, why not? I would assume, or I would like to assume, that, like, we could change the thrusters out, and, like, if you wanted to, so, like, well, I don't know, the cutter. Each of the cutter variants has its own different thruster nacelles. Like being able to swap those out. Being like, hey, I want to have these ones, and these ones are maybe a little bit longer range. Maybe this one's a little bit faster. Whatever. Being able to do something like that would be very nice. And again, like, obviously, if they can have an aesthetic change, that would be great. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. But, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think, honestly, okay. So, yeah, I think it would be cool, and it would be interesting if there were companies that did have, like, differing levels of modularity for their weapons. It would kind of further characterize, what their company, like, it would further characterize the weapons and, the company and the kind of people that, decide to use, decide to buy this equipment and that equipment. So, like, the idea now, like, okay, so I guess to try and, like, give a little bit more of a thorough example, I mean, let's say, like, every ballistic weapon is going to have, a barrel, a bolt, a trigger group, and a magazine, right? There's no getting around that. That's going to be necessary for everything, right? But like, so, obviously, like, there would be a little bit of customization there. Like, if you have a lighter weight bolt, then there's going to be a higher rate of fire, and, maybe, it might be a thing of, like, and, like, depending on the, steel that you use or the material you use, maybe you use titanium for the barrel, and I want Mirai to make a salvage ship that can stop on a dime, because that's what I need. That's what I need so bad. It's not me, it's the ship. I mean, like, I joke, but also fair is fair. This thing is terrible for braking. But yeah, so, like, I do also think it would be really interesting. It would be really interesting, right? Because in Star Wars Galaxies, there was composite armor, which was, like, not the best, but it was kind of everybody's go-to. Especially because, again, with the Star Wars Galaxies crafting system, you could get a bunch of different things. But composite was, like, pretty much the jack of all trades. Wouldn't it be interesting if there was, and I don't know, the lore could be that whether it be a weapon or armor, there was like this weapon or armor that was, like, super modular, made by a company. Either the patents run out or their protections on it expired, or, like, they bankrupt as a company, and, like, the designs are just out there and open source, basically. And, like, maybe they're not, like, you have to know somebody in order to get the blueprints, but, like, some sort of, like, generic weapon that's, like, a jack of all trades, or, like, a series of jack of all trade weapons and armor. And, you could, there's also, yeah, like, armor. One thing that, like, scares me a little bit with armor, and armor archetypes as well, is that, like, people have gotten attached, at least I have, gotten attached to, like, to specific armors, because right now, like, the only thing is just how much damage they are, or how much damage protection they have. how much damage protection they have and what the, you know, sprint reduction is, right? But in the future, like, there's going to be a lot of different things that are going to change all that stuff. And one of the things that terrifies me is, explicitly is like the idea of this armor is good for energy weapons, this armor is good for ballistic weapons, and it just being sort of a, like, I don't know, like how do they decide that, which armor is going to be better? Because what if, like, I don't know, what if I want to, like, what if I want to have, like, a mixed set, but the armor that I like, is, only up, is, but the armors I've chosen, are, you know, only good for ballistic protection when I want a mixture of ballistic and energy? Well, the answer to that would be to, okay, well, maybe the stock armor, you know, is only good against ballistic. But, you know, maybe just craft it in a different material that's good against it, that's good against this, and, you know, I'd love to see that, although I don't know if that's what they're aiming for, what they're deciding on. I assume that also, like, well, I don't know, I would assume that crafting is, like, right now, a lot of these things are being decided, right? But I don't know. Oh, I guess I should also see what cargo this thing has, huh? Wrong button. But yeah. Also, yeah, definitely, I don't know. I don't dislike mining, but I think the one part of the salvage game loop I didn't really think about was, like, being able to get crafting materials, iron, copper, golds, you know, other stuff. I can, like, assuming this dynamic doesn't change, yeah, I can go in here and salvage something and probably be pretty, it would be very unlucky if I didn't get iron from it, and, like, when crafting actually matters, that'll be great. Oh, also, because I got sidetracked on master modes, the portable, like, obviously I would think that maybe a 3D printer, some, like, crafting machine or some CNC machine would probably be relatively big. I think it would probably be at, like, a 2x2x2 SCU size sort of thing. So, like, not every ship, you wouldn't be able to really use something like that in an Aurora. Well, maybe there's a different one that's a different shape that you could fit in an Aurora. How exactly you'd be able to, you know, would you be able to use it on an Aurora, is another thing entirely, just because of that ship's, you know, how that's set up. But, you know, and obviously, like, if you're, like, a crafter who wants to, like, that's your thing, you want to do a lot of crafting, then, of course, the main thing you want to do is either get a crafting ship or, you know, an outpost get an outpost with, you know, an entire room-sized crafting thing or whatever. And, you know, like, that's, you know, going to be the most efficient or most profitable way to do crafting. But if you're just, like, getting into it, or if you want to do it, like, you know, only if it's not the main thing you want to do, or if you're starting out, then, you know, you could just get a small thing and pack it in your ship. And of course, like, you know, like, it's not just a, hey, I have a free crafting thing. I mean, you're taking up space in probably your cargo ship to not do cargo things. Obviously, that would be a thing. And of course, like, power. And of course, like, I would assume that it would have to connect to the cargo grid. It would have to connect to the cargo grid, and it would, as a result, and anything connected to the cargo grid would be connected to the resource network power grid thing, but I don't know. Again, that's just an assumption. That's how I think I would probably do it. That, or legit having a bunch of wires. I still love the idea of having, like, additional computers that you can, like, tap into, and using them for, like... Oh, you know, like the Javelin that has like a giant hallway on both sides, the port and starboard hallways that have access to the turrets. I imagine having like little computer racks on wheels that have the turret AI blades. I imagine like those racks that are just connected to wires, connected to the turrets, connected to ports on the ship, and like, you know, you're trying to, and you're like the crazy man trying to solo a Javelin, and you need to have like a bunch of computers plugged in to do that, and like, you know, you take a hit and then like the servers roll down the hallway, and then like one snaps out and you lose half of your turrets. They're not going to do that, but like, they're not going to do that, but it's damn shame that they aren't. I'm going to go sell stuff before, but yeah, I don't know. I will also say, I hope I finished that point. The thing, I always get sidetracked and derp. That's why, I don't know. I will say, I have I've decided that for, like, Starfield Galactic Guide, at this point, I'm gonna take a break, like, well, okay, my first thought was to take a break every 200 episodes, because I missed the 100 episode mark. So it's like, we'll just make it 200. But, you know, I think it's going to be like around, it's going to be just shy of 1,700 episodes. So maybe like every 10% doing like, you know, taking a break every 170 episodes. I think I'll probably do 200 because that's just like where I'm at right now and all the stuff I've recorded. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, I have a, I know I've got a video with some co-commentary from my bud, who I've been trying to get to play Star Citizen multiple times. Well, that's, hopefully that should be coming up soon-ish, but, you know, it probably... Oh god. Probably episode like 100. Oh, I don't know. I had to guess probably like episode 180. No, maybe sooner, but I really don't know. I think it's really fun doing co-commentary stuff. That's why streams are always interesting, because it's not just me talking to myself alone. It's me talking to myself with, it's me talking with, in a room by myself, but there are the internet people. I feel like that's a little rude. I'm sorry. They're real people. Allegedly. But yeah, I don't know. It also, I don't know, from my point of view also, like, doing, like, mercenary stuff to build up, reputation, just because I like that kind of combat, or that kind of gameplay, just combat stuff. And then doing salvage to get the materials, or I'm sorry, so doing mercenary missions, hopefully building up like a, reputation with like weapons manufacturers and armor manufacturers. I guess also ship manufacturers. Being able to do like that, and being able to do that and sell and buy like blueprints, and then do salvage missions and get the material to act on those blueprints. That seems cool. Seems like it would be a very nice thing to be able to do, and especially like again, like the idea of being able to say like the idea of being able to say, hey, here's a like, hey, here's a custom P4, here's a custom weapon that I made, and this is a thing that your org is going to use, or like your small group is going to use, or it's going to show up like, I'm going to be fighting, some random NPC pirates, and like, because like the resource network and like quantum works in the way it does, which I don't think this is a thing that's been specifically mentioned, like, something like a player weapon falling into the hands of an NPC, and then that NPC, like, or that weapon showing up in like leveled lists or something because of it. I don't think that's it's wishful thinking, but it's understandable wishful thinking, I think. But yeah. Oh, also, since I'm here, the bartender AI, like, the bartender AI, bless their heart, they are possibly doing stuff, but you can actually take drinks, and of course it has to be the bottle, but you can also take just glasses. You can also just take glasses and store them and drink them later, and it's great. I don't suppose you have anything interesting here. It's always interesting looking at a bunch of stuff. Oh, you know what? Damn, I missed the whole red letter thing now that red envelope thing, now that I think about it. Oh well. Still ever so slightly upset that we got gypped out of the rabbit thing. Not the paints though, not the ship paints, but like the whatever accompanying thing they have. Now I know that I don't have in demand. Oh, hold up. Can I look at audiovisual equipment? I see. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's see. So this doesn't take RMC. Okay, cool. I didn't think it did. Because I think I thought it did, and it didn't, and I got burned on it, and I was sad. Oh, I guess I really shouldn't take the iron now that I think about it, because I can't actually do anything with it, but oh well. Yeah, like, I don't know, that seems like... I don't know, it seems like a really cool thing. Especially, like... I don't know, just... going into that thing. I could imagine, like, starting the game in Stanton, or, wherever, and being like, oh, yeah, I did some work for, Gemini, and now I've moved out to somewhere like Fora, Hyperion, that's like super, that's more rural, more, like, it's low security. Stanton's technically also low security, but, like, was it Hangar 4? No, it was Hangar 1, okay. You know, just being able to be like, yeah, I made my, yeah, I've been, you know, crafting these custom rifles, and I've been using, you know, salvaged ship stuff to do it, because that's just the cheapest way to do it, and, you know, a cheap and fast way to get stuff done, so why not, you know? It seems so, like, such a cool idea. And of course, like, there'll be people who just sell, like, oh yeah, we have, like, 503 SCU of construction materials, would you like this? You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily have, what? Okay, I hit power on, and then I hit it again, and then my ship powered on. Sometimes I don't know if this is intentional or if it's just a bug. I assume it's a bug, but anyway. Yeah, I don't necessarily have any intention of being like a great crafter or anything, but if I become famous and Star Citizen for crafting, it will be because I make cheap stuff. Cheap stuff that's very, very easy to afford. Alright, now that, like, everybody's tuned out... sorry, I was just looking at a Instagram and saw a dude who, first-time rider, had a motorcycle, inside his house. I was trying to take it out, which is like, I'm like, why not put it in the garage? But not everybody has a garage. At least he wasn't, like, running the damn thing inside his house. Like, I don't know. Every now and again you'll find interesting motorcycle riders who do things such as, you know, rev a motorcycle inside of a enclosed space, because that's something you would, oh my god, you know what, okay. I saw a thing where somebody cut a hole in the bottom of their car, bottom of their truck. They connected a tube to their exhaust port, and we're like, you know, okay, if you need to piss on a long car ride, yeah, just take this cup, piss in it, and have the, you know, wire to your exhaust just goes out the exhaust. Yeah, perfect idea, no problem with that. What do you mean the exhaust is going to feed back through the thing and fill the cabin with carbon monoxide? No, that's not going to happen. Dude. And like, yeah, I don't know what to say besides, wow, I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't think of the carbon monoxide thing until after I saw it in the comments. But goddamn, that's at the very least, also, because you could just, if you wanted to do that, why does it have to go into the Why does it have to go into the exhaust port? Or into the exhaust? You know, like, it could just go, you could just drill a hole and it would do the same thing and not give you carbon monoxide poisoning, and it would be less work. I don't know. Let's at least see what's here before I end things off here. That's also another thing with ships. Oh, you know, also RSI Zeus Mark II, maybe for 323? I could see it being 323.1, which, unless I'm a placeholder, lovely. Iron. There would be my iron for crafting. Probably. An iron, okay. Mark II. Mark II is a thing. They showed it in a gray box for one of the previews. I did not realize it was the Mark II because I didn't realize it had like the little. I didn't recognize it at first because I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Oh, we got 1 SC with gold. Could sell that at L4. I don't think iron was for sale though. I don't think they were buying iron. This is so worth it. But yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. You're watching at this point. I don't know. I think that I don't know if I made any succinct points about crafting. I hope I did. I hope they're reasonable. I also like, I don't know, there's something to be said also about like player cities. Not necessarily player cities, but like, you know, just somebody being able to set some place up and having like a you know, well, I guess like I also think that trading, being able to trade not necessarily commodities, but having like a separate app and /bazaar/store app thing that you know, you can buy directly from somebody's you know, local inventory, and then, you know, either ship it out or go pick it up yourself. Although honestly, I mean, okay, could you imagine like the local inventory is like your personal outpost, and it's like your personal outpost, and you know, you just get a bunch of random people who's like, okay, I'm gonna save the 5,000 credits or whatever it is. I'm gonna, you know, go and go to the place in order to get the thing. Also, quantum travel's being special today. Lovely. But yeah. Also, this is a terrible idea. Actually, genuinely, what the fuck am I doing? I've had problems with this before. Why am I doing it now? Where I accidentally fly into an asteroid, and I don't know, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. No reason to take that chance. Anyway, oh yeah, but yeah, being able to, it would be amazing to be like, yeah, this is my personal home away from home, but I also sell handcrafted weapons and armor out of it. And I just get like 50 people randomly coming here to pick up their stuff. It'd be an interesting way to do things, certainly. Was this 1 SCU of gold worth picking up so we could sell here? Absolutely not. 1 SCU. How much? 5.2k. 5.3k basically. It's alright. Well, anyway. Yeah. Still excited for 323. Just the excitement can only really last so long, and then when it actually comes out, it'll be a lot more. Anyways, until next time, have a good day, great day even. Chaskies.